We're
The
live.
broadcast is live. They're sending me little messages. Hello, everybody. Welcome back, man. Oof. June was. I keep forgetting. I'm supposed to look up there. June was June, right? And I know when the last time you saw our lovely technical producer Ruby, and now Ruby has moved on to greener pastures. And today, we have Amanda, who is somewhere in Brooklyn.
Bronx, actually.
Oh, Bronx.
Yeah, I'm in the Bronx. Used to live in Brooklyn, though.
Yeah.
I lived in Clinton Hill when I lived there. I liked it very much.
Well, perhaps you'll get back there, Missy. So just, hey, I wanted to say welcome. And Amanda, thank you for pitching in.
You're welcome.
You saved all of our collective butts. So now I'm going to talk a little bit, and then I'll see you in later. Bye now. Wouldn't that be great if you could just make people say, I'll see you later. Gone. Well, I guess with COVID you can, can't you? It's a little bit easier than getting up from the table and saying, I don't want to talk to you anymore. So, who do we have tonight? We have Mitch Levenberg, Mark Mangan, Margaret Echevarria, Carl Kissen, Beth Foreman, Dan Ruth. That's just the half of it. Get it? And then we'll have Alice Klugertz, Adam David Pierce, me, Taffy Jaffe, Rob Nagel, all the way from Los Angeles, California, and Nicholas Ullett, who I think he's in Pennsylvania, but he's one of our favorite Brits. So that's how we're going to do tonight. And just wanted to remind you, we are accepting donations for the Episcopal Actors Guild. Episcopal only because that's where the church is that hosts them. They're a non-sectarian charitable organization, and they help perform out of is what they do. And the first performer that they helped out of a pickle was a guy named Fred Astaire, and they gave him the money to go to California. That turned out quite well. The other one we have is the Actors Fund. And the Actors Fund, also founded in the late 1800s, as was the Episcopal Actors Guild, is a national human services organization that takes care of people, not only people who are on stage, but people who are backstage, people who are in the box office. They even do circus people. Let's see, theater, film, television, radio, music, dance, opera, and circus. The Episcopal Actors Guild deals strictly with performers. So you'll see different ways that you can, of course, now I've lost the dang picture. There I am. You'll see different ways that you can donate. And normally when we did this before, everybody had a cover of $15 and you got a free drink. Well, you're already getting a free drink. So if you can give us $15, that would be fantastic. If you can't, don't worry about it. Just if you can give us $1, we'll take $1. We've been able to give almost $1,000 between these two funds for April and May. So that's the name of that tune, June. And the cats are here. I've heard that they went around and back of me, so I didn't want to shut the doors in case you like that sort of thing. So here we go. We are going to bring up our very first person, live from Brooklyn, Mitch Levenberg.
Hi, Phyllis.
Hi, Mitch. Take it away.
Okay. Hey, man, I'm no racist. You'll never see me put my knees on some guy's neck, black or white. Don't put me in the same category as those assholes. Besides, a gun's not good enough? Believe me, you put a gun to some guy's head and he won't move. I know. I've been there. Every time someone puts a gun to my head, you can be sure I don't move. And I got a lot of black friends. Well, maybe not a lot. Some. Well, I've seen them around anyway. Sometimes they'll even come into the bank. Nothing wrong with that. They're entitled. But, people around here get a little nervous, especially around their money. I mean, what do they want? They want me to protect them against black people? I got no problem with black people. Believe me, white people are no picnic either. I got plenty of problems with white people. My parents were white. They weren't so great. My father put his knee in my neck at least once a week. I can still hear my mother screaming for him to get off me. And that shithead manager is white too. Don't get me started on that cheap bastard. And the prick who gives out loans. You don't see black people giving out loans, or getting them for that matter. Okay, speaking of black people, they did hire that guard. Not the same as me, kind of a backup. He didn't have a gun. No one's giving a black guy a gun, even if he is a guard. But he was okay. I trusted him. I remember he liked kids. Every Saturday he'd stand there handing out candy. Except parents didn't like it. Probably thought the stuff was poison. But he didn't give a shit. Just kept passing it out. And when he finished, he'd just go out and buy more. Shit, I had to tell him to stop. He was scaring the parents. And that manager, man, I never saw a more fucked up expression on anybody's face. Then there was this one time, it was crazy. Just kind of happened out of the blue, like it was planned. 1 second, this kid starts running away from his mother to get candy before anyone else. And then boom, falls like a ton of bricks and knocks out a few teeth. I told the guy to stay where he was, but he wouldn't listen. So he goes over to help the white kid get up. Crazy. You know what I'm saying, right? I mean, that was it. That was it for him. It was over. The next day I come in, it's like he never existed. No kidding. Big surprise. No one says a word. I'm not going to say anything. You think I'm crazy? Then they hire someone else, some white guy. They let him carry a gun too. Just no candy. I'll tell you the truth. I like the black guy a lot better. I could even see myself being friends with him. No, seriously. I'm even a little mad about it. Really. You know what I'm saying? But once he was gone, he was gone. Didn't pay to talk about it. I don't need any problems. But I felt bad for the guy, you know? At least he liked kids. That's something, right? But what was I supposed to do? Nothing. I don't need no trouble. But it's funny because sometimes, even now, when I try and sleep, I can still feel my father's knees on my neck until I swear I can't breathe. And I can't say nothing. What can I say? I always told him it would be better if he just put a gun to my head. I mean, who's going to move when you have a gun to your head? Am I right? Thank you. Thank you.
That was quite something there, Mitch.
Well,
I think it was brave writing. Thank you.
thank you. Yeah. No, I know. I just something I had to get out, you know, everything that was been going on. And
Yep. Well, that's why you're a writer.
yeah, I mean, I wanted to do something important. I mean, that I felt was kind of,
I think you nailed it, honey. I think you did. And I'm glad we started off the evening with
thank you. I appreciate it.
Take care out there in Brooklyn.
All right. Yes.
All right. Next up, all the way from New Jersey. Jeez, we're getting real exploding out here. Mark Mangan. There you go.
Yes, I've managed to make the trek virtually, at least,
Take it away.
from New Jersey. Okay, let me double check all this. All right, my homies, listen up. I got a little teaching to do. Let's call it in the life lessons category. Now, the more time I spend on this screwed up orb, the more I realize that the problems we cause ourselves are universal, regardless of issue, arena, location, career. Here is but one example. In my past life, as a techie and a corporate project manager, I learned quickly that the surefire way to sink any well-intentioned effort is by not having a clear plan and sticking to it. Well, with my life shift back to the arts, happy to leave the corporate world to fend without me, I looked forward to dealing with different priorities, work schedules, products, etc. But lo and behold, the same bullshit still makes things so much more painstakingly, backbreakingly difficult. Now, a few months ago, in the before times, When I was starring in a pilot for a new TV series, the lesson was again brought home. Now, when I say starring in, I'd be referring to getting hired as background, an extra. One of the thousands of people who get paid little more than minimum wage to walk through a scene and do it again and again and again and one more time for good measure. It doesn't have to be quite that bad. You can get it done in a couple takes if everything is planned. Aye, there's the rub. Plan, director, plan. Well, on this particular shoot, as we are going into our 15th hour of the workday, it's 3 a.m., and the director decides she wants to reshoot a scene where the principals, including well-known Hollywood star, are arriving at a gala in their honor. And we, the gala attendees, dressed to the nines, are arriving at the same time. I am one of some 40 or so people coming from one side to the hall entrance, and there's another group of the same size coming from the other direction. Roughly a half hour is spent figuring out places and timing, and then we walk through the scene as a rehearsal 2 or 3 times. And then things are ready for filming. Rolling, background, action. The limo pulls up with the stars, and we file in as rehearsed. It goes, I thought, just fine. About a 2-minute scene. But we return to places and do it all again. And again. And again. And again. Now, between each take, the director makes minor changes with the principal actors. Nothing big. And we do this some 12 or 13 times, with each take eating up about 8 minutes off the clock. And everyone's exhausted, and the women all have on these high heels that they have now walked about 2 miles in with all the filming today. And just when we think the director finally has what she wants, I hear her say to the principal actors and crew, "Well, I suppose it's just my anal retentive nature, but I would like to try just one more take." Oh, good God. Well, I know we peons are all disgusted and pretty fed up at this point, but I'm wondering about the principals. And I take a look at the star to see his reaction. Now, this is not some Hollywood bad boy, certainly no one known to create headaches, just a consummate professional. His look? Nothing. No reaction whatsoever. He is stone-faced. And I realized pretty quickly that this overtly stoic facade really says so much. I just wish the director was a little more attuned to body language. And so we do it one more time. Finally, at about 4 a.m., we hear those 3 little words, those precious 3 little words that are so dear to every actor. That's a wrap. The moral? Well, while the Nike copywriters had the right idea, I will add just a little bit more. Just do it. Then just stop and live with it already. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Sounds like a terrible shoot. I've been on.
No, it was classic.
All right. Thank you, Mark. Talk to you later. Up next, Margaret Echevarria, all the way from Yankees.
Hi. I didn't mean to startle you, but I thought this room would be free, and I just need a minute because my life has just become a little too huge. It's kind of like when you are making a loaf of sourdough bread and you're pulling the dough against the surface underneath to build the tension in the surface of the dough on top, and you get lost and you overdo it and the spot on top tears open. You don't want to lose the puff, so you stop turning and pulling and you just pinch it off. That's how I feel. I thought I was done crying about it. I barely knew him these last 20 years, and I'm sure he changed quite a bit. There's really no reason to cry so much about it, but I would have insisted that I loved him once. I loved him for 4 years. Maybe I'm crying because I know what love really is now, and that was not it. Not really. And I just should have told him a long time ago. Henry, I never really loved you. So it's okay. It's okay that you left me. It's good that you left me, Henry. Really good. It all turned out okay, so it's okay. I should have thanked you, Henry. I'm sorry I never thanked you. Thank you, Henry. Oh, a hug. Yes, I would like a hug. Thank you.
Well, that was short and sweet, Margaret.
I thought so.
I thought so. Is that that was something you brought into our writing group, right? Didn't you bring it in?
Yes, ma'am. Yeah. That was a spontaneous, just keep the pen on the page writing exercise that turned into this monologue.
It's great. It's great. It really suits you. It really suits you. I love that. Thank you, Henry. All right, my darling. Enjoy the rest of your night. Thank you for being here.
All right. Cheers, Lovey.
Cheers. Oh, I don't have anything. I will, though. Up next is the fabulous Carl Kissen, all the way from the Upper West Side.
Hello. Yes, all the way from my chair. I can swivel left and right.
Ooh.
With a weapon? Oh.
Sorry, your mic is a little weird when I take someone else out of the thing. Maybe.
This has happened. This happened one time in the past. And I'm seeing notes that say, "Why can't I hear Carl?" So can you hear me now, Amanda? Waiting for you to come back, Amanda, to tell me if you can hear me or not.
I can hear you. I can hear.
About it makes a lot of sense. Everybody gets
Your mic went out again. I'm gonna remove myself, and if I don't come back on, we can hear you. Okay.
okay. It almost seems like it happens when I get louder. I wonder if I'm.
I mean, if it's, I can hear you right now. So if you want,
I
can.
Louder.
We can hear you. So if you want to just do it like this, and we don't run the risk of losing your beautiful voice, you can go.
Thank you. Let's see. Hold on. I'm seeing if do you lose it if I'm at this volume?
I can hear you right now.
Okay, I'm happy to do it any style screen that
Go
you
for
like.
it.
Take 3, everybody. You will be so sick of me so shortly. Here we go. Excuse me, dangerous person with a weapon. Whoa, 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 whoa. Careful. I'm not a police officer, so I can't order you to put the gun down or even just sit in my vehicle in a work slowdown feeling resentment of how you don't appreciate me anymore. But maybe, just maybe, you could point that bullet firing mechanism at someone else, perhaps a suicidal person. Think about it. It makes a lot of sense. Everybody gets a happy ending. Well, not a Robert Kraft happy ending, but as you know, the police have been defunded. So the city sent me. I am a municipal stand-up, license 6969. What? Did I go there? I did. Let me arrest myself for having the maturity level of a 12-year-old. But if you like what you're hearing, follow me on Twitter at Police Navidad. Yeah, I'm Jewish, but I like the sound of it. So, dude with a gun. How you doing? Wait, don't tell me. Let me guess. Angry, right? I don't know how I do it. It's a gift, right? But who wouldn't be angry? COVID's out of control. We can't flatten the curve. Although ask any plastic surgeon, we can curve the flat. I mean, why is it so hard to social distance? My ex got a restraining order. Done. Simple. Distance. And even you, my homicidal friend, and I'm just saying, no disrespect, you got a gun, but no mask. Let me guess. You went on Amazon and masks were on back order. Unbelievable. More gifted intuition. Amazon has every product in the world except the 3 things you need during a pandemic: masks, gloves, and disinfectant. Hey, let's look at their website. Estimated back in stock. Ah, there you go. Back in stock once there's a vaccine and you no longer need them. Hey, Amazon, add this to your cart. So, fella, you're a manly XYY chromosome kind of guy. Even with no masks available, you could rock a pantyhose look. Just saying. And sir, no offense, but yours is a face that cries out to be covered up by a damn skin opaque. Whoa, 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 whoa. Ease off that trigger. I have a body camera on me. Honestly, it's not for law enforcement. I'm self-producing a YouTube series about stand-ups who stop crime. Working title, Punchline Ups. Look, pal, the Comedy Cellar, where I used to perform, gives me 2 free drinks at their curbside pickup bar. Curbside pickup. Sounds like a dating site for rodents, doesn't it? Hey, where'd you meet her? I picked her up the curbside. She was dragging a pizza. I was dragging a pepperoni. We met, found we had bubonic plague in common. 600 kids later, we're still the dumpster of each other's eyes. What I'm saying is, give me the gun. Thank you. Great. Now my fingerprints are all over it. Brilliant. Look, we'll have a couple of beers, a few laughs, no shootings from you, no chokeholds from me. Everything's beautiful, except your face. I'm not going to lie to you there. Or, just thinking out loud here, we've got a gun, the courts are closed, Best Buy is down the block, and we rebrand them as Best You Don't Have to Buy when you're a customer who's locked and loaded. Fantastic. Papa needs a brand new flat screen. Thank you.
Very nice, Carl. We gotta get that sound fixed for you, baby. I don't know.
Did it work once?
Yeah, it worked, but then you froze a couple of times. So, but we got the gist. You know, it's just,
my fear of the audiences.
that's it. I think
That's
so.
what makes me freeze.
Yeah. Well, stay away from Best Buy. They're horrible.
Okay.
All right. Thanks, Dal.
Thank you for having me. Bye.
You bet. And yep, this is live theater. Next up is Beth Foreman. I was just getting some messages that Vimeo. Hello. That, hold on. What was it? Taria said Venmo was having some problems. So I just checked my Venmo account. It looks okay. It's Tulis-McCall, and I think it might be cap sensitive, case sensitive. So that's all I can tell you. If you continue to have problems, you could always try PayPal. Anyway, so I did as much as I can do to check Venmo. I hope it works for you. Next up, and now I'm not kidding, Beth Foreman.
Oh, thank you so much for this honor. It means so much to me to receive this Lifetime Achievement Award for screenwriting from our beloved entertainment industry. The seminal experience that served as the genesis of my 35-year career took place in 1976 when the New York Post ran this front page headline: Columbia grad student stars in porno flick. The inside article covered the story of a PhD student in the English department working her way through school by acting in pornographic movies. This latest one, titled Green Eyes. This was fine with her boyfriend, the article reported. The woman was about to take orals, salacious wink wink, lascivious nudge nudge, and because her major author was James Joyce, she chose as her stage name Anna Livia Plurabelle, the symbolic every woman heroine of Joyce's Finnegan's Wake, 600 plus pages of nonstop puns. The news caused a bit of a stir in the department, and with regard to my personal reputation, it was known that I had worked my way through college and the first year of grad school working on Wall Street, a close enough analog to acting in porn films, that I was about to take orals, and that my major author was James Joyce. I was curious, not proving to do, so I subwayed down with theater below the old Copacabana to catch Green Eyes, my first foray into the world of adult entertainment. The industry was in its infancy back then, and after the screening, I had no desire to see how this baby would turn out. To begin with, it appeared as if Central Casting had held its auditions in an early 19th century London asylum for the criminally insane. I acknowledge that my beloved Astaire Rogers movies had the thinnest of plots, which functioned merely as connective threads between the hardcore sex scenes. The quote, dance is the vertical expression of frontal desire, has been attributed to George Bernard Shaw, Robert Frost, and Oscar Wilde. But not even an anemic attempt at plot, character, or dialogue found its way into Green Eyes. Within less than the first 2 minutes of the film, 2 minutes is a very generous estimate, doorbell rings, woman opens door, bare-chested repairman enters wearing jeans, helmet, and cable wound around his shoulder, announces he is there to fix her pipe, and that was it. Off they went. Human copulation does not strike me as a spectator sport. I think it an exclusively participatory one. No amount of choreography or directorial genius can raise it to a visual art. The glissando of an Astaire Rogers dance sequence captures and conveys the transcendence of coitus more so than jackhammer voyeurism. The close-ups of the butts in action. Had body camouflage makeup not been invented yet, was it not a budget line item? Once seen, there are things that cannot be unseen. But I experienced a belated epiphany after a recovery period of several years. While my colleagues were transitioning to the business school in droves, or driving cabs, or entering the PR and advertising fields, I decided to mine the works of Shakespeare, Chaucer, Rabelais, Donne, Swift, Joyce, and the rest, overlaying their joyful and life-affirming bawdiness on an otherwise soulless enterprise. What differentiates bawdiness from vulgarity? The presence of wit. My latest film, this fall, is a romantic era romp titled If Percy Comes, Can Mares Behind Be Far? As for the Green Eyes actress, she wasn't anybody from the English department, just a PR scam. I should have known it couldn't possibly have been anyone from the department. A Columbia Joycean scholar would have called herself Anna Labia Plurabelle. Thank you.
Thank you, Beth. It was the weirdest thing backstage for a bunch of us. You were upside down, but you're right side up on the live stream. So you go figure that one. And that's from New Jersey. I think maybe it's New Jersey. Anyway, thank you very much. Mwah. And next up, we have Dan Ruth, who's somewhere in Manhattan.
Am I upside down?
Okay, we
Can you
can't.
hear me?
We can hear you, but we cannot see you.
Okay, I'm here. Can you
Well,
see me now?
Nope.
Interesting. I can see me next to you. You look lovely in pink.
Oh, this is getting weirder and weirder. Amanda, is he showing up on the live stream?
He's on. Oh, Not on the live stream, no. Let's see if this fixes
And you're
it.
wearing navy blue.
Yeah,
So,
we can see you in the studio, but it's not showing up on the YouTube live stream. And I'm heading over to Facebook.
no, it's not on Facebook.
Okay.
Don't know what to say. I can see both of you. I can. I'm.
Dan, in the lower left-hand corner of your screen, do you see a little grayed out?
I am not grayed out.
He is not grayed out.
Okay. This is my suggestion. Log out, turn your computer off, and log back in and see if it works. Does that sound okay to you, Amanda?
Yeah.
Do you want me to come back? Or
Oh, of
come back
course,
in?
yes. But I'm just saying, get out of this, reboot your computer, and then come back in again.
Okay.
All right.
See you in a bit.
Otherwise, it's going to be radio theater. So we're going to fast forward ahead to Alice Klugertz. Alice, are you here? Okay, great. We can see you, but you're muted. Alice, you need to unmute yourself. They got to the moon faster than this, didn't they? Oh, of course, yes. But I'm just saying, get out of this, reboot your computer, and then come back in again. Oh, we got all kinds of weird things happening. Otherwise, it's going to be radio. Alice, take it away. So we're going to fast forward ahead to Alice Klugertz.
Okay,
Alice, are
hi.
you here?
I'm having computer glitches too.
Okay, great. We can see you, but you're muted.
Oh, that's weird. It doesn't say I'm muted.
Alice, you need to unmute yourself.
I know I have done that. And it's not working.
They got to the moon faster than this, didn't they?
I know. It doesn't say I'm unmuted.
Oh, of course, yes. But I'm just saying, get out of this, reboot your computer, and then come back in again. Oh, we got all kinds of weird things happening.
Okay.
Otherwise, it's going to be radio. Alice, take it away.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
So we're going to fast forward ahead.
You can't hear me?
Alice Klugertz.
Okay, can you hear me? Okay,
Alice,
hi.
are you here?
I'm having computer glitches too.
Okay, great. We can see
Hold
you.
on.
That's weird.
All right. Hello, everyone. Some weird loop. I took Alice out. We're going to bring Alice back in. Hi, Alice. How are
I
you?
know I have done that. And it's not working.
They got to the moon.
I'll bring Alice out for some. Hi, Tulis.
Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna reboot and come back in. I don't know.
I think it's Alice's computer because whenever I bring her back in the stream, it keeps replaying the conversation you both had. Not exactly sure why.
Okay, then let's see if Alice do what Dan is doing. Leave the group, reboot, and come back. Does that make sense to you, Amanda?
Yes, and
Okay.
she is doing that right now.
Great.
Awesome. That was the weirdest thing I have ever seen happen on a computer.
I'm so glad we could bring you a little weirdness. Okay,
Kinda scary, actually.
let's see if Adam David Pierce can make it on here.
All right.
Adam, are you there?
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. We can
What's happening? That was, I felt like Inception. I was just like, we're replaying moments, but we're still like, I can't get over it. I don't know how this is going to affect the monologue, but it was that was one of the
either, but it'll be in the live stream. So there you go.
Yeah, we're here now. That's what counts.
Okay, my darling, take it over.
I never really thought I would ask myself the same question over and over. My answer would reliably send me careening from one gutter to the other. Either the woman I loved was a liar who was more concerned with performing all better than about actually recovering. In this version, she was so utterly resigned that all the doctor's appointments and the supplements and the weird eye exercises she did to try and ease the headaches, they were just a feeble attempt to get me to stay. Dangling a carrot she had stopped believing she could ever reach. Or this was all explainable as a byproduct of what happened. That she couldn't help it, that none of it was her fault. These things happened to her, and I am a monster for being angry at her for any of it. It turned out it was easier for me to tell myself that I was the monster. I couldn't really bear thinking of her that way for very long, and all my years of Bible study did a pretty good job cultivating a crop of unworthiness inside me. It was this never-ending cycle. You'd think I'd remember the moment when I realized that no one needed to be a monster. But I don't. It just simply existed in my consciousness, like Athena springing fully formed from Zeus's head. I saw that I was fixated on blame. And my mind was an endless series of trials, appealing and relitigating the past when all there actually is the present. How was today? How did it go? How do we want tomorrow to go? What can we do to make tomorrow a good day? It was a different sort of question than I was used to asking, and that was the beginning of the end. Thank you.
Oh, no. I want to hear more about that.
Good.
Wow. Yeah, those relationships.
Right?
That was wonderful. I'm so glad you got here for the first time, and you'll come back, won't you?
Of course. Yeah, thanks so much for having me.
Oh, wonderful work. Wonderful work. I know it's going to be wonderful.
Thanks.
You're welcome. Bye.
Bye.
Check back in so you can watch the rest of it, but not in the green room, in the links. Okay, let's see if we could try this again. Is Dan back? There you are.
I'm on my phone now.
Well, that's because you are so tech savvy, baby.
Well, I had to do something here.
You did. Golly. All right. Take it away, my darling.
All right. Earlier today, I had a bit of a breakdown, bit of a meltdown. I had been feeding off of Facebook toxins for 4 solid hours, and I hadn't eaten anything yet. So I really needed a meeting. And so, of course, there aren't any meetings online, so I have to go find a meeting. So I go on search for AA, searching for serenity. I really need to get some serenity now. Searching for serenity. Aha! Alcoholics in the Zona with the Rona, beginners group. I copy the password and I hit enter. The Zoom moderator pops in. He's bigger than life. He's an old timer who can't read very well, and he's so close to the camera I can actually see his nose hairs. All he's trying to do is find someone in the group to read the AA preamble, but no one's responding. I mean, there's at least a dozen boxes filled with people's names, all using the appropriate abbreviates, but no one's responding. So he calls on some random guy and asks him to read. As the guy pops in and speaks, "Oh, sorry, dude, I'm in the middle of traffic. I can't read." The guy is hot and shirtless, and he's wearing sunglasses, and he's framed by a perfect cerulean blue sky, clearly on a bicycle somewhere, I don't know, probably on Santa Monica Boulevard, but he can't read the preamble. I, however, have already Googled the AA preamble, and I am ready to read, because, in case he asks me, because I like to be a team player, but he does not. He does not call on Dan Root. I suddenly noticed that my full name is being shown on my box. It's not abbreviated. Oh, no, 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 no. I start looking for the change the name button. I know it's here somewhere because I've done this before. So I start clicking on tabs that, with no luck, tabs that make the moderator big, tabs that make the moderator small. And next thing I know, I suddenly accidentally open up about 30 new windows, a hellacious zoom zoo of human insanity and filth. There's a couple screwing in one box. One guy's over here is doing things I can't repeat. I mean, people are throwing garbage at their phones and everyone's screaming. It's like the Hollywood Squares meets the Snake Pit. And none of this has given me serenity. No serenity, AA or otherwise. So I click out. You are powerless. You are powerless. I am powerless. The moment passes. It vanishes. Back into the ethers from whence it came. I need to take a walk. A walk will help. I know. I'll get a turkey sandwich from my local bodega, and I'll come home and I will eat it. Maybe turkey will give me some serenity because it's got tryptophan in it. So I run to the corner and buy the sandwich, darting through gaggles of unmasked drunken millennials back into my building, into my apartment. I slam the door shut, lock it, and I turn on my air conditioner, which comes to life. It's billowing white noise soaring over me like a plane at takeoff. I am safe. I sit down and open my turkey sandwich. It's on a roll with brie. I like brie. It has green apple. I like that too. And I like the silence and the stillness. I live one day at a time, hour by hour, minute by minute, trying to figure out how we all went from be kind, you don't know what the other person's going through, to this cyber castigation, this tearing each other limb from limb. And I contemplate deleting Facebook, but I light a Palo Santo stick instead and lay back on my fuzzy white pillow from Bed Bath & Beyond, surrounded by my family of crystals, like a lone munchkin from The Wizard of Oz, trapped in my apartment, waiting for Glinda to show up and tell me that it's finally safe to come out. Thank you.
Come out, wherever you are, and meet the young lady who fell from a star.
Sorry
My
about
work
that
is
earlier.
done. Listen, you just kicked butt. That was fabulous. And
Thank you.
I think we were all right there going, yeah, oh, yeah, yeah, So thank you for just going right in
You're
there.
welcome.
I mean, we're all pretending we're normal. You know?
Well, I finally got to the real AA meeting and it was okay. So that
And
was
you
a
got
scary
what?
one.
I'm sorry?
I finally got to the real AA meeting and it was nice. But that was really scary and whoa. It was very Bosch-like. I felt like I was in a Bosch painting.
Yeah. And who knew? A little brie and turkey and green apple.
It can do it, man. That tryptophan works.
Yeah. Thank you for showing up here the first time. You'll come back, I hope.
I hope so. Thank you, Tulis.
Oh, you're welcome. I loved it. Okay. Are we going to try Alice again? Ever hopeful.
Alice is not in the studio again. I can try and contact her, but I think for the moment we already did Adam. So Tulis, you're next up if you want to do that while I try to contact Alice.
Okay. Let me see if I can text her. Hold on. This is fun, isn't it?
Also, I do believe Taffy is having some problems getting into the studio, and I have not been able to resolve those with her as of yet.
Okay. Cancel. Okay, hold on. I'll get my man Siri. Siri? Hey Siri. If you don't do Hey Siri, it doesn't do anything. Call Alice Klugert.
Which phone number for Alice Jane Claus?
British.
Home or cell? Calling now.
I like my boy. I'm calling the moon. By the way. Long distance. This is like some weird TV show, you know, when they called the people at home, and, right? Where are you? Oh, no. What's what? She's not answering. All right, I'll leave it to you, Amanda. But I think I'll wait on the little thing we were going to do just to see if we can get Taffy in. Okay, so I'll do mine. I'll do mine. Alrighty. Well. This is the goofiest night. I'm telling you. It's the new people. I'm pretty sure it's the new people. Yeah. Yeah. That's what it is. Rob Nagel. All right. Well, this is about it. Bedrooms and bathroom upstairs, living room, kitchen, of course. It's pretty simple. It's just one thing. The staircase here in the kitchen, it don't go anywhere. So naturally, you don't want to use it. It goes up to the landing there, and then it takes a right, and that's about it. You got your bottom here, and then you got your top up around that corner, but it's not any place as far as we know. So just use the staircase in the front hall, okay? That one goes right upstairs, you know, just like you'd expect. And you'll be fine with that staircase. That's a good staircase. But just leave this one in the kitchen. Just leave it be. Now the bottom is good for storing things on, and you can do that, but you want to just leave the rest of the staircase. That's my advice. Alice Klugers. Yes, Alice. Alice? Okay, I'll try to get back on, and Amanda's there to help you. All right. Okay, I'm actually performing right now, Alice, so I have to stop talking to you. Okay. Boy, this is a lesson in not taking yourself too seriously, isn't it? All right. What, girl? Auntie Tulis is going to start all over again because I can. Well, this is about it. Bedrooms and bathrooms, they're upstairs. And the living room. Kitchen, of course. It's pretty simple. Just one thing. This staircase in the kitchen, it don't go anywhere. So you don't want to use it. It goes right up to the landing there, and it takes a right, and then that's it. You got your bottom here, and you got your top up around that corner, but that's not any place as far as we know. Use the staircase in the front hall, the one that goes right upstairs, just like you'd expect. You're going to be fine with that staircase, but you just leave this one here be, okay? The bottom is good for storing things on, and you can do that, but you want to leave the rest. It's my advice. I'm not saying you can't go up there. You can go up there and see for yourself if you want to. I won't go with you, but I won't stop you. I've never been up there myself. Something about a staircase that don't go anyplace, that's just off-putting. That's what it is. I always say that. My mother said my Uncle Gus went up there once, and he was deaf when he came back. But that was before my time. I only knew him when he was deaf, and it was hard to get him to talk about anything because he couldn't hear the question. And then Jack, our dog, went up there once, and he got as far as the first landing, and he turned right around and come back down. I was here for that one. He walked up there like we had never told him not to. He got to the first landing, and he sort of noticed that he was someplace that he'd never been before, and he just turned around calm as you please, and he come right back down. Started shaking like a leaf as soon as he stepped off that step, but he was pretty much okay after that. And my mother's second cousin, Bobby, once removed on her father's side, made it up to the 5th step when he was 7. He did that on a dare because somebody told him there was a box of chocolates around the corner. I did ask him about that one, and he just said it was better not to talk about it. So I asked my mother, why didn't they take that staircase down? And she said she was fond of it. And anyway, what was the point? I mean, seeing as how nobody went up there, and the stairs down here are a good place for putting things up, storing and such. I guess she had a point. But I think it's because how do you take something apart when you can only locate one end of it? I mean, if you got one end here and the other end is locus absentis, that would be a job and a half there, in my opinion. Anyway, I'll leave you to unpack. Enjoy your stay. Thank you. Okay, could you hear me? Was it all? Well, I guess we'll just go on. Let's be careful, those staircases. That's probably what it was. So Amanda is, do we have Alice or Taffy?
We don't have Alice yet. I'm actually on the phone with Taffy right now. Taffy, would you like to say hello to Tulis?
Sure, but I don't know. Can you see me?
No, I don't think you're in the stream yet, but don't worry, I'm here with you.
Can you see the screen, Alice? I mean, Taffy?
She didn't hear that conversation. She didn't hear that yet.
Can she?
Can you? Why don't we move on to the next performer, and I will work with Taffy.
You bet.
Great.
Rob Nagel, this is all your fault. That's what I'm telling you. California vibes. So, Amanda, if you could possibly bring Rob on.
Oh, my cunning plan worked.
You do. You look a little cunning.
That was a beautiful piece. Beautiful piece I just watched you do. Really lovely. And I did Google as we were watching the Inception moment happen. We are full on Mercury in retrograde right now.
Oh, really?
This is just Mercury going crazy. That's what California tells me. Anyway, but enough about that.
All right. Well,
I'm glad you're here.
Me too. I'm glad you're here.
Me too.
Even though you did this. Remember the night that Rob Nagel was
everything went to hell
on the thing and nobody could hear, and we got in the
unhirable.
Philip and Melinda should be watching to see what you created. Okay, Amanda,
they taught me everything I know.
Take me out of here.
That's Uncle Samuel's leg, so just leave it be. He puts it there when he wants to let us know he is sitting at the bottom of the pond in case we need him for anything. The first time I saw that leg, it was all by itself, leaning up against the same elm tree. We were just come down to the swimming hole, and there was this leg that was not there the day before. I will tell you that right now. Also, some folded up belongings, but no sign of a man. It spooked us so bad, we went round the bend to the other side of the hole to swim. And when we got back, everything was gone, which spooked us even more. Anyway, it turned out Uncle Samuel was on his way home to us, which we didn't know because everyone thought he was dead on account of nobody heard from him in a long time, and nobody would have recognized him anyway, is what they said, on account of he had both his legs when he left. He got to the pond and decided to cool off, figuring there would be a bunch of noise when he got to our house. Get home, and there is Uncle Samuel sitting at the table. Mama was crying and pouring whiskey for him and dandelion wine for her, just staring and crying loud. Look at you, she was yelling, and him crying too, yelling back, look at you, and he was crying too. The two of them drinking and crying and hollering till they got so drunk we took them up to their beds and they cried themselves to sleep. Woke up and started all over without the liquor, mostly, and with him making another trip to the hole. He's been here since. Must be 4 years now, maybe 5. He knows a lot of things, Samuel does. He knows about the world and Europe things. He never talks about the war, but sometimes his face gets red, the way he looks out at nothing in particular. Then he just takes a walk to the pond, even in wintertime. That there leg is hickory, which is not so good on the user. Heavy is what that is. Anyway, with legs, you want something light, which is what they didn't know back then. They took off your leg and they replaced it with what was handy and hard. Hickory. I'd tell you to lift it up right now just so you could see, but Uncle was particular about things like that, where he puts things, don't like them to be touched. It took us a while to figure out about him sitting at the bottom of the pond. One day he come with us up here, leaves his leg right where it is now, crutches over to the hole, strips down to his skivvies, hops in, and sinks. He pops back up and says, I'll be just a few minutes. And then he goes back under. We figured he was looking for something. He was gone a long time. Told Mama at dinner, and she just about had a fit. Turns out Samuel couldn't swim a lick. He just liked the quiet at the bottom of the hole. Still does. So just leave that leg be. He comes out cold and wet. A warm, dry leg. He's a comfort. Thank you. That's all.
Where's the man? There's a man. Full disclosure, I wrote that monologue. Just wonderful to see you do it. Just wonderful. You know?
Thank you for giving it to me. It's like William Faulkner meets Gabriel Garcia Marquez.
At the bottom of the pond.
At the bottom of the swimming hole.
Exactly.
Thank you.
Well, it was worth all of this just to see you do it. Oh, thank you. I hope you'll come back.
I would love to. Anytime, and I'll make sure that Mercury's out of retrograde. Yeah.
We won't say your name. We'll just have the mystery performer.
We're going to burn sage in the StreamYard studio.
Okay, it's wonderful.
Thanks so much.
Wonderful. He's a funny guy. So now I'm thinking, call me crazy, but I don't think Taffy's here. Would that be right, Amanda? Poor Amanda.
Taffy's not here yet. I'm still on the phone with her. I'm not exactly sure what's going on with her computer. I'm not a computer tech, so I don't know.
Now, mine says not signed in.
So I think she should call you, and we could hear her where you are. I don't know exactly sure.
Well, we can hear her talking to you. Does she want to read her piece, and you can hold the phone up?
Taffy, would you like to just do your piece here on the phone, and people will be able to hear it via my computer?
That's fine.
She said that's fine. Can you hear her, Tulis?
Yep, I think.
Great. So Taffy, you're live.
Yes, good.
You can do your story whenever you'd like right now.
Right now?
Yeah.
Okay, Tulis, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, then I'm going to start right now. Surprise, surprise. Currently, I am technologically traumatized. Get it? I mean, it's everywhere. I just wish they would stop telling me your call is very important to us and then treat me like shit. They put me on hold forever, and just when I'm close to orgasm, beep, 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 disconnect. And please stop these phony apologies. We're sorry, but our options have changed. Well, my options have not changed. I still want to fucking kill you. Every once in a while, a real robot-type person answers. And if I complain, I can't hear you, they say, you should do this online. Really? If I could do this online, would I be calling your ass? I want to meet whoever it is who says, monitoring this call for quality assurance. I am assured that they do not exist. I end up with no working computer, no cell phone, or TV. A few times in my life, I've been smart and listened to my own advice, like I still have a landline. You still have a landline? You are so far behind your time. Well, at least I'm not behind your 8-ball or whatever they call it. On the other hand, there are traumas that other people can't handle that I can. For example, my boyfriend Vincenzo, who I was with for 36 years, recently passed away. And I am handling it untraumatically. I just don't believe it. I refuse. He was a guy who preferred peace and quiet. Like if we went to a restaurant and I started to interview the waiter, he would just say, can't you just order? Or if I said, I'm so scared, what if I get the virus? He'd say, just don't open your mouth. Or, Vinny, I'm so upset. She said, he said, I said, she said. And he'd say, Cassie, it's not that deep. Go to your room and take my name out of your mouth. When I did go in to another room, I could still not hear him because if he watched TV, he did with the sound off. His favorite program was Naked and Afraid in the Jungle. He wanted to learn how to survive in the bush. Now that I could have helped him with. Or he'd just creep around so quietly that I'd be startled to turn around and see him there. So it's not crazy to imagine that he is still here. Now, when people tell me, oh, I'm so sorry for your loss, is there anything I can do? I don't say, I didn't lose anything. I say, I'm celebrating his life. He was 88. He had a good run. We were together 36 years. We had a good run. And as far as what you can do to help me, do you know how to get Netflix, Disney Star, Zoomcast, etc., etc., etc.? Thank you.
Okay. Taffy, stay on the line, okay?
Okay.
All right, because I'm going to say something about Vinny. Amanda, if we have that picture. This is a picture of Vinny, and I'll send it to you, Taffy, when you were at one of my birthday parties. And he was a jewel. Every time, I think I said to you, every time I saw him, the night got a little brighter. He was a gentle, sweet, funny man. He adored Taffy, and she adored him. And so it leaves a little bit of an empty pocket, I guess you'd say, in my life right now. And there are so many people that loved him, and Taffy, they loved him, but they also loved and continue to love you. So this is a poem that was written by Mary Oliver, and I think it suits Vinny, so indulge me. When death comes, like the hungry bear in autumn, when death comes and takes all the bright coins from his purse to buy me and snaps the purse shut, I want to step through the door full of curiosity, wondering, what is it going to be like, that cottage of darkness? And therefore, I look upon everything as a brotherhood and a sisterhood. And I look upon time as no more than an idea. And I consider eternity as another possibility. And I think of each life as a flower, as common as a field daisy, and as singular. And each name a comfortable music in the mouth, tending as all music does towards silence. And each body a lion of courage and something precious to the earth. When it's over, I want to say, all my life I was a bride married to amazement. I was the bridegroom taking the world into my arms. When it is over, I don't want to wonder if I have made of my life something particular and real. I don't want to find myself sighing and frightened or full of argument. I don't want to end up simply having visited this world. So, Vinny, you were not a visitor. You were a cherished buddy. And when we're done with some of this shit, we're all going to get together with Taffy and raise a glass and tell stories about you. So I like to think of you as being here with us. I know you're with your girl. So Taffy, you have anything you would like to say?
I like to say thank you for this technological treat. Ah! Oh my God. Oh my God.
All right, my darling. Well, we love you.
I'll give you one of my last. I'll give you one of my last lines that I used to say. I wanted to tape this set, but I'm so technologically challenged. I would be a happy woman if my boyfriend went down as much as my computer. Thank you.
Yes. We all agree with you on that, Taffy. All right. I even wore like my Christmas things because I needed a little cheering up today. So before we hold on. I just got it. Okay, Nagel, this is you. I got this thing from Alice when she said, there was a fire in everyone's Wi-Fi. It's down in the whole building. I'm going to see whether I can do it through my phone. That should be the title of a play. I'm going to see if can I do it through my phone. So Amanda, I'm assuming Alice has not been able to reach you. There she is. Oh my God. Now, Amanda, Alice is sideways on my screen. Is she okay on yours?
So it looks like Alice is using a phone. Yes,
Yeah.
Alice?
Yeah.
And Alice, I don't know that I can hear you. Can you talk some so we can hear you?
Alice, you have to talk. Nope. Nope. Turn your phone. Alice, turn your phone. Wow. This gets better and better. We can't hear you. Talk. Oh my fucking God. All right, Amanda, I'm going to leave that to you. You're in those big bucks tonight, baby. So, darling, Nicholas Ullett, are you there?
Yeah. Jesus. This is like living in some nightmare.
Yeah, but we're all in it together. All right.
Sure.
Yeah. Easy for me to say. All right.
All right. You ready?
Yeah, you go, baby.
Okay. 25 years ago, I got a letter from my high school saying that the drama teacher, Jeffrey Pepper, was retiring and pointing out that it was 40 years since he had cast me as Prince Hal in Henry IV Part 1, and that they were having a luncheon to celebrate his retirement in London. Could I come? So I said, yes, if I can make it. And then a few days before the luncheon, I called Mr. Pepper to tell him I was coming. Oh, what a pleasure! His nasal tones just wrenched me back to high school. Oh, several people have asked about you. Roger Sanders is so looking forward to seeing you again. I had no idea who Roger Sanders was. At the time, I ignored this clue, but in retrospect, I realized that this was the key to the whole affair. And at noon on a brilliant early autumn day with the wind coming up off the Thames, I trudged into a restaurant in the National Theatre and found a group of middle-aged men milling around. I didn't recognize one of them. As I hesitated at the edge of the room, an older man, his face creasing into a vulpine smile of welcome, darted forward. Nicholas Allett! The nasal whine gave him away as Geoffrey Pepper. How wonderful of you to come, all the way from Los Angeles. Several men turned and moved towards me. God, it's really you, said one. Flying in from LA, said another. Life must be treating you well. It was a Kafka-like moment. Who the hell were these men? Balding, bearded, and bespectacled. What on earth was the connection between us? I started smiling so much my jaw felt locked in place. I couldn't place any of their names. None of them rang even the slightest of bells. Their faces were middle-aged, jowly, without any distinguishing marks. The famed Roger Sanders was the worst of them all. He was so clearly delighted to see me. He was bearing programs proving that he had been Hotspur to my Prince Hal, that we had devised a review together. He and I had done Wolf Mankovic's bespoke overcoat. I drew a blank. I remember doing those things, but he could have been the creature from the Lost Lagoon for all I knew. I remembered that there had been a nice lad called Norman Saville who I'd liked and who'd helped out somehow with the review. Whatever happened to Norman Saville? I asked hopefully. Oh, he's my solicitor, announced Roger cheerfully. Obviously no help coming from that quarter. It turned out that Roger was now a judge, and it had never occurred to me that I actually would have been to school with a judge. And Roger, incidentally, didn't seem to be the ideal candidate. Within minutes of our meeting, he was relating to me the breakup of his marriage of 23 years. She's living in Muswell Hill with a PE teacher, he said sorrowfully. I suppose I should have guessed when the sex stopped after about 6 months. 6 months? Wow. Here's a man really in tune with his surroundings. After 23 years, he works out that his wife is a lesbian? I mean, what did he do for all that time? And whatever it was, does that qualify him to be a judge? The only person from high school days who I had a distinct memory was an Anglo-Indian lad named Desmond Chaudhry. He and I had battled it out for the best acting parts. I remember distinctly that he'd wanted to do Gogol's The Government Inspector, while I had wanted to do Maxwell Anderson's Winterset. He'd won, and the production that year was The Government Inspector. However, to his horror, he had ended up with the part of the mayor's wife, while I got the lead. In fact, when I came to think about it, he was always ending up with the female parts. So it was with a sense of rightness that I managed to spot him coming through the door. Still the same rather feminine face with its arched eyebrows, but that elongated, elegant body was now puffed up and exploded in a pot belly above the ridiculously tight belt on his trousers. Desmond had turned into a sweet dumpling of a queen. I immediately hoped that he would be able to jolt my memory, but it was not to be. The meal was fairly pleasant and the company interesting, but without the catalyst of shared experience, I found myself lost. I had hoped that someone would have come up with some photographs of what we looked like back then so we could try and match them with the faces of those present. But nobody had. There was one other professional actor there, Robin Ellis. He was the first star of a show called Poldark. He and I had run into each other a few years earlier in a theatre in London while we were taking a leak during intermission. We'd recognized each other, but urinals are they're seldom conducive to long conversations, so that had been the last time I'd see him. We had a couple of friends in common. That was it. Was it worth it to go? Logically, no, but it was a wonderful trip, and who knows if they did it again, maybe I'd remember a few more of them. That night, I stayed with my old college roommate, John Loney, who happened to have our college alumni magazine called The Eagle for some unknown reason. There was a section where you looked up your matriculation year. Under 1960, I discovered that one of my contemporaries had been appointed Undersecretary to the Minister of Health. Another was now the headmaster of Glen Eagle, and another, a Don at Durham University, had published a book, Uses of Road Transportation in Post-War Croatia. And one, a fellow named Dennis Woodman, could be found restoring and repairing Oriental carpets in a new location at the east entrance of the Kew Garden Underground Station. Guess which one I recognized? If you answered Dennis Woodman, you'd be right. I started in that same high school with him at the ripe old age of 7.5. We went to the junior school together. My clearest memory is of visiting him at his home and his mother serving us squirrel stew. And then on we went to the senior school, and finally we both ended up at Cambridge University. Surely him I would be able to recognize. On my way out to the airport, I got off the underground, the tube at Kew Gardens, and looked around. Sure enough, there was a building with the words Oriental Carpets stenciled on its side. I wandered over, dragging my wheelie bag. Outside on the sidewalk, on hands and knees, was a man swearing at a carpet. Passers-by were giving him a wide berth. Dennis, I proffered? Dennis Woodman? Yeah, he looked up without even the slightest glimmer of recognition in his eyes. Nick Ullett. I'm Nick Ullett. He straightened up, a thin, crafty-looking bloke with wiry grey hair. So it is, he said, breaking into a grin. So it is. And we sat and had a cup of coffee, and he had his assistant take a photo of the two of us. My mother will love this. She remembers you. She always liked you. He drove me to the airport. I climbed on the plane and flew home. He's dead now. And the rest of them, who knows? We never had another reunion. Thank you.
Wow. It's so funny to walk into those rooms and go, oh.
Yes.
Who are these old people?
Nobody. It was bizarre, you know?
Yeah, I'm just reconnecting with some of my high school friends, and I had a long talk with one of them last night. It's really wonderful when those, when you make those connections again.
Yes, when it works.
You don't have to explain.
Yeah, when it works, it's fascinating. When it doesn't, it's just fucking agony.
What was the name of the director?
Oh, Jeffrey Pether.
I know.
Oh,
what
Mr. Raleigh.
People and names. You just have the best. Mr. Pether. And what was the other one? It was Duncan Chaudhry.
Oh, Desmond Chaudhry.
Oh, Desmond.
Oh, yeah. I did keep up with him a bit
Mr.
more.
Pether. Mr. Pether. Oh, God. Well, then there's Ullett, so.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Thank you, my darling. Wonderful to see you. Wonderful to have you here. Hope you come back.
Thanks, love.
All right. And thanks for hanging in there. Oh, Nicole Ortpalavicini. We'll have to talk to you, honey bunch. I don't know how you are. Let's see. Alice? Try it again. Oh, now she's upside down.
Yay! Can you hear me?
Yeah, but you're upside down on my screen. So I just need to hear from Amanda.
She's not upside.
I'm right side up on my screen.
She's right side up in the feeds. She's good.
Okay, good. Go.
All right. Should I just go? Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
We can definitely hear you. You keep freezing
Okay.
periodically, but we still have your volume.
Should I begin? I will. We're here whenever you need us. Your membership cancellation is confirmed. If you've already found someone special, we'd love to hear about it. If you've canceled your membership for another reason, don't give up hope. As much as we'd all like it to happen overnight, sometimes it takes a little bit longer to find that special someone. We believe in love. Yeah, I bet. I've been looking longer than you've been living. Listen, match. I can't afford it. And I'm not talking about the money. It's the endless time looking. I am apparently unmatchable. I have a long profile, recent pictures. I look like my pictures. And this is where I gotta say, men and women do the same thing. They both lie about their age and display photos that are wildly different than their actual presentation. Their photos are historically accurate, but not from this century. A friend of mine looked over my shoulder while I was shopping. I mean, searching. And she said, "Oh yeah, the first photo, it's the one he once looked like, and the rest are what he really looks like what he looks like now. So the first is the hook, and I guess I'm the fish. Catch and release." I respond with much more than a hi, and men who just say hi or hi beautiful or even tell me about yourself. When I have written pages, they have written that they like the beach and fine dining. I hate the phrase. It's like the word moisture. Fine dining. If you knew what goes on in restaurants. And they don't read my profile. So here are the salient points of my profile. I'm smart, funny, ambitious, outspoken, dyslexic, eclectic, and very intense. Getting older has just made me smarter, more insightful, and fun. And I don't tell people I look young for my age. I embrace my age. We're supposed to get older. I'd like to meet someone smart, funny, interesting, a doer, who is introspective, honest, someone who can express themselves, has life, friends, pursuits, energy, takes showers and brushes his teeth. Sometimes that lovely winter coat needs a dry cleaning. For some reason, I have an incredible sense of smell, makes living in the city quite an adventure. I'm a slow burn. I don't attach at the hip. Eventually, I do want to meet your cranky daughter and mean ex. And I want to find someone to hold and touch. And if there's no attraction, well, it's hard on either end of that equation. After one of these dates, I want to hide under a rock, and I'm beginning to figure out why. We are not meeting people we would normally meet. It's like going into the future and stepping on a butterfly. But when you come back, everything is somehow unchanged. Finding a partner is like finding a needle in a haystack. Actually, I do find a lot of needles, but they're unthreadable. It really is like gambling. The wheel never stops where you want it to, yet I keep placing a piece of myself on the table. You're ready to get off of dating sites when you respond to the "Hey Beautifuls" like this. "Okay," I type, "I'm listening. Pour your heart out, or a few drops. Who the hell are you?" Sometimes I just tell them, "I don't like the beach because I'm a vampire." Thank you. So
Well done,
sorry, it was hard to
Alice.
get on.
Good for you for sticking in
There was
there,
a fire
honey.
outside of my building.
Yeah, I know.
Wi-Fi.
So good for you for hanging in. Thank
As
you
in
so much
non-existence.
for
I'm on
hanging
my
in
phone.
and doing it and, sticking with it until you got it. Good for you. All righty. Bye. Wow. I'm exhausted. So thank you all for being here. And I normally I keep reminding people over and over and over again to please send money to my account at Venmo or at PayPal, because we want to make donations to the Actors Fund and the Episcopal Actors Guild, so named because it lives at the Episcopal Church. But it is for all religions or none. So I didn't do that tonight. And even the readers, if you can toss in a few coins. Oh, see, look, somebody just did that. If you can toss some money into the kitty, we do have actual expenses, and I need to cover those before I can donate to these groups that help people all year long, and now are it's like the blood bank. So that's the name of that tune, June, and everything is down there on the bottom. It's Tulis-McCall at Venmo and tipsmcc@mac.com for PayPal. Whatever you can give is going to be valued. That's it for now. Gosh, the next extravaganza is in 2 weeks. So who knows what that's going to bring. We're going to have people from the UK on that show. So that ought to be like, well, I had a great time, and I hope you did too. And just blessings for being here, blessings for staying alive, and taking care of yourselves. COVID is getting to everybody. I had to have a test done at a hospital this week, and the woman asked me my name, and I forgot it. I just went, but I did remember my birthday, so we could start there. But life is weird. I appreciate all of you so much, and you know how to find me. Bye now. Now we're going away, Amanda. I'm just gonna keep doing this.